Hi, today we're going to work on one of our crafts for the Camporee, and we're going to make God's eyes. So this is a God's eye that I've made with two kinds of yarn and popsicle sticks, which you can do if you have a second kind of yarn. Each one of you has, though, in your kit, 2 popsicle sticks and 1 length of yarn. When you're working on this, you can either glue your sticks together and then give them some time to dry, or you can start with 2 sticks without the glue. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to show you how to do it without the glue. And then that way you have it as an option. If you would like to do it with the glue, just pause the video, put some glue here, leave it to dry, and then come back for the rest of the video when you're ready. If you're going to do it without the glue, you can just go ahead and get started. Take one end of your yarn and take your 2 sticks and hold them together. Take about 3 inches of your yarn, maybe a little bit less, and cross it over the top. Then you're going to hold your thumb in place, hold it back again, and wrap so that you've got an X. Now you're going to hold it like this, hold the X down, and hold the back part of it like this. And what you can do to hold it in place if you want is to kind of tuck it under, and then that way it's going to hold in place a little bit better for you, okay? So you've got your X, you've got your tag underneath, and you're holding them in place. And then what you're going to do is take this top piece, pull it under your stick to get you started. And you're going to just make that X a couple more times just to kind of tighten up the string, make it a little bit easier for you to work with, okay? So once you've got that X a couple of more times, now you're going to get started wrapping. And if you feel like the sticks slide around, that's okay. Just put them back in place. Once you're secure, your sticks are in good shape, your X's are good, you're going to start with your string over this stick. And it's going to come over this one that I'm pointing to, under it, over it again, and over the next one. And then you're going to just turn it, and you're going to keep going like that. Under the one that you're working with, over it, and over the next one. And you're going to keep going like that over and over again. And as you're twisting, you want to make sure that you're sliding the yarn down so that it's lined up right next to the other pieces. You see how this light orange piece is next to the dark orange piece? That's what you want to do. You want to have them next to it, not on top of. Okay? Then you're going to keep winding, and it's easier for me to turn the sticks like this, and that way it makes sure that you always go in the same direction, and it means that you won't get your knots or your wrapping confused. Now you could decide right now you want to stop. It's got a little bit, this is called, it's a God's eye, by the way, because the loop in the middle kind of looks like an eye. You can keep it like this and tie it off, or you can keep going. I'm going to keep going just because I have more yarn and because I want to show you how that's going to look. Now these are, like I said, called God's eyes because it looks like an eye, but these are also a symbol of protection. In Mexico, if you see where there was a car accident or something like that, you'll see some of these God's eyes planted, and they're supposed to indicate that it's a symbol of protection. So they can also be used as good luck charms. Girl Scouts make these at camp often because they are easy to make and they really don't require much in the way of supplies. So if you were at camp, we might do this with popsicle sticks. You might also see that sometimes people will make them with sticks that they find on the ground. If you do that, I would say be mindful of our leave no trace policy. So you want to only take sticks that have fallen onto the ground and not be taking them out of a tree or something like that. But you can also always do it with popsicle sticks. Now, as you get closer to the end, you're going to be short on string, which is fine. And then when you're ready, you can tie it off and call it a day. You could go all the way out to the edge of the sticks if you want, or you can just tie it off a little sooner. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to trim it right like this to give me a little bit of room to work with. Okay, so you've got the end of the string. I'm going to flip it over. All right, now you see how on the back, how it's kind of wrapped like this? You can tie this off a couple of different ways. You can kind of try to tie it underneath of itself, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back around and then I'm going to pull this up just a little bit so that I can get the string underneath of it. Okay, and then I'm pulling, you see how I pulled this through like this? Then I'm gonna come through like this so that I can make a knot, okay? And then you just kind of pull it as tight as you can. And you want to have the knot on the back so it doesn't look tacky. Okay? See? So now you've got a top to your thing and the knot's on the back. Now you can cut it right here and be done if you'd like. And then that's it. That's your symbol of protection. You could also take the rest of your yarn and make another loop so that you can hold it up and hang it on something. You could also take some of this yarn and make little tassels if you want to hang off the side. But either way, this is a nice little craft done pretty easily, and it's really, really pretty. So you can give it as a gift or you can keep it in your room as a symbol of protection. If you're interested in these, like I said, you can make them with different colors. If you do make it with a different color, what I would do is I just get started with the main color, and then I don't know if you can see right here, there's a knot. What I did was I just tied the yellow to my red string. Again, put the knot behind it so it doesn't look tacky, and then keep wrapping as you normally would. And that gives you the added color if you want to add another kind of yarn. I also want to show you this little tiny one that I made. This one is with a little bit of, it's yarn, but it's thinner than this yarn, more like embroidery thread. And I made this with 2 ends of pipe cleaners that were left over from another craft. And it's just something kind of cute, and I added a little tie on the top so you can hang it. If you do make one of these with pipe cleaners or something, make sure you curve the ends of your pipe cleaners up, because they could be pokey and you don't want to hurt yourself. If you bend them up, then that way you'll keep your fingers safe. And that is how we make God's eyes. Enjoy!